Hey certified weirdos, welcome back to whatever this is. Ezra's Oddities. Yeah. Hello. I hope everyone's doing well today. Drink your water. I am extremely bored, and I feel like it'd be good for me to talk about the Stranger Things finale. Yeah, that. Um, Also, I got a new background, kind of. I'm gonna actually set this down because I don't want to keep my mic hitting things. But I got a new background. Whoop, whoop. I added some more posters up there, but anyways. So, Stranger Things finale. What was y'all's opinion on it? Leave a comment down below if YouTube even lets me have comments up YouTube. Please let me have comments up. I meet the requirements. But anyways, so basically, Stranger Things finale came out, and not everyone was really happy about it. They left so many things, like on the hook. So many things that we didn't have an answer to. Which, with the whole thing with us, like, there's also, by the way, spoilers in this video, just in case you guys couldn't tell. I have grown to accept, also this is just paint, I'm painting something as we do this, but I've grown to accept the fact that Eleven is, probably dead or alive, somewhere. I believe, but, I'm okay with that, because that leaves it up for us to decide. But a few questions. One, why did no one get arrested for, killing a bunch of soldiers? Why did no one get arrested? They're just like, we need to find the girl. Oh, she's dead. Wink, wink. Okay, whatever. Let's pack it up, y'all. What? That doesn't make sense. They would have definitely at least arrested Nancy. Because she shot them, and Hopper. Because, they were like, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. I don't get that. Second thing, why were there, no Demogorgons up in, or, just any of the Vecna's little creatures in Dimension X? Because, that's their home. They lived there. That's their home. Why weren't they there, is my question. And it doesn't make sense for them to not be there, because, that's where they live. That's where they, roam, And apparently the Duffers just forgot. Seriously. I forget stuff all the time, yeah, but, why would you start filming if you weren't done writing the script? It's kind of, logic, common sense, if you're not done, take your time to make the best ending possible that will make everyone happy. Then you start actually recording the stuff, It's annoying, but still. Anyways, continuing on. Another thing. Why were the graduation gowns orange when they've been green and literally everything else? I understand that could just be a simple mistake, oh, oopsies, and I didn't really think that there was much to it. I was like, okay, that's weird. But, at the end of the day, it could just be something special Hawkins High does. I'm not too, upset about that one, because that's just a little, I guess. Why didn't they get arrested for the Turnbows, too? Because they literally did kidnapping. What, did they just think it was all a dream? And their house was, destroyed? That doesn't make sense. Oh, that must have been a dream, and our house is kind of destroyed. Oh, well, no, that's not how it works. They're gonna, they're gonna sue. Elmo's gonna sue. So, yeah. Also, one thing that I've heard a bunch of people talk about is why was everyone, the opposite, if you know what I mean? Nancy, had started to turn into her mom, Mike started to turn into his dad, I guess you could say, and, that's the opposite of what they wanted, and, with the whole, X is a lie thing, didn't make sense, but it did, at the same time, so I'm really upset, that the Duffers didn't start to write, or, if the Duffer Brothers did have another episode planned, they would have probably made millions of dollars because of that. So that would have been very smart on their play, but oh well. Also, what happened to Vicky and to Murray? Like, yes, we saw Murray at the graduation, okay, but like, you basically told us what happened to everyone except for Vicky's just gone. What? Did she like die or something? What? It just doesn't make sense. Also, how come like Will's coming out scene was literally longer than the battle? I had hair in my mouth. Sorry, but like, no, I get it. It was important. It was an important character moment, character development. I get that, but I don't see it in Will's character to do that in front of one. He doesn't know Kali, so why? And I don't think he'd do it in front of literally Steve. He's never talked to Steve, so why would they? You want him there if he does? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And also just like, you know, I get Robin being there, you know, supportive. I get that. I get that. I get his mom being there. Of course, Jonathan. Of course, I get that. But it just was really confusing and didn't make a lot of sense. And then, you know, the battle. Sure, the battle scene looked very cool. I personally enjoyed the battle. I was like, come on, guys, we gotta win. Defeat Vecnar. And I personally was very into the battle scene. It was very cool, but it was short. And I get it that they don't want to take days and days and days to do one scene. I get that. But they could have shortened up Will's scene and maybe added a little bit more of that time to the battle. And everyone got off scotch-free except Eleven and Kali. And, you know, Vecna, of course, which doesn't make sense. Like, what I'm saying is I did not want them to kill off characters. No. But at least give somebody a broken leg, give someone a broken arm, make some people have scratches, scars, gashes, injuries, but they don't die. You know? Like, give them some trauma. Trauma for you, trauma for you. You know? It was just... I was disappointed, but at the same time, I think in the moment I was like, oh my gosh, it's over. And like, that was the last time I'll be hearing the Stranger Things finale, waiting for it, like the actual thing to start, you know? That was the last time I'll ever like get to like be excited to watch another episode, because they're all out now. And so, but anyways, yeah, I also love how Hopper's gonna go be a police guy in Montauk, because that's where Stranger Things was actually based off of. Like, based off of all the stuff going on there, which was, like, really cool. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But, yeah, yeah. Also, a few little headcanons, and I might make a goofy short series here on YouTube called Cleaning Up What the Duffers Left Behind. And I'm gonna spread some of my things here. One, basically, it's just gonna be going over all the stuff that they forgot about and didn't like do right, or, like, you know, and all the stuff that they left just unanswered that was kind of important to know. Like, I'm just gonna like kind of give context for how most of the fans can see it, and like, we're just gonna pretend that this person reacted this way and then everything went a different path and then whatever, blah 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 kind of thing. So let's start, shall we? Let's start with cleaning up what the Duffers messed up. Part 1. The Abyss. We all know there were no Demogorgons, no Demodogs, no Demobats even in the Abyss, which really did not make any sense. But we're gonna say that all of the, like, for Vecna's tower thing, the big, like, evil lair thingy, that looked, like, really insane, though. It looked very cool. Let's say, because to build that, kind of like how he built, like, how the Mind Flayer built itself up, because technically it's been the Mind Flayer all along, but kind of like how the Mind Flayer built that up, and the Mind Flayer had to use rats and humans to build its fleshy form in Season 3, we're gonna say that one by one, like, slowly, Vecna would be like, hey, come over the intercom, hey, Demogorgon number 3692, and Demogorgon 295, and Demobat 3 report back to base in the abyss. Over. You know. And basically he'd just be like, hey, you know why I've called you here today? And then he just like turns them into the whole thing. That's what I say, because it makes a lot more sense to me. You know, just like in my head, that makes a lot more sense, I guess. Because where else would they be? They're just like on vacation. Where are they gonna be? Where are they gonna go? So yeah. Anyways, this is just something that's like, kind of like, oh, okay. With the whole like thing going on with how they did not get arrested for like whatever it was that happened, with, you know, how at least Hopper and Nancy didn't get arrested for like shooting down soldiers. Um, I I honestly am still stumped on this one. I'm trying to think of a good reason, because they literally did so many illegal things. So this one, I'm just gonna say it had something to do with like, maybe they got Murray was a lawyer or something, because remember he was kind of like a lawyer attorney guy, like in season 2, or it was somebody, I forgot who, but you know, whatever. Yeah, so maybe somebody help me come up with theories, please. I need help. I cannot theorize. Yeah, and then I'm trying to think of what are the other things that like, yeah, I don't know. Another thing is, we, yeah, I can't think of any more that I forgot. But a few things I'm also disappointed about, and a few things that they really missed out with the Stranger Things finale, was more sibling scenes between Elle and Will, because they've been like spending more time together because Hopper and Joyce. They missed out on some very great sibling bonding scenes. And no, I know that they had their scene where Elle saved him while he was stuck in the upside down in Vecna's mind thing. I'm not talking about that. That was very nice, but that was just save him and get out kind of thing. I really like, just, they missed out on an opportunity of having so many more Will and Elle scenes. Like, I would have loved to see something where like, after Elle found out like Will has powers and stuff, she's like, hey, I can help you control them, and like, or something, like, I can help you. Because even though it's different how they got their, you know, little abilities things, it would have still been very interesting to see more of their bond, and, you know, just stuff like, kind of like more of what we got from them in season 4, but more in depth, and more like sibling like, you know. So there's that. I would have loved to see more of a like loving father-daughter relationship between Elle and Hopper. I get it, they were, you know, whatever. Also, Elle was not as like, I feel like in season 4 she was a lot more talkative than in this season. So it was kind of weird to see her go from like, oh yeah, huzzah, voila, to no, va va, and only saying like 2 words when she would speak like full sentences last season. But I mean, I know that because of all the stuff with Henry, she probably got a lot more distant, a lot more quiet, a lot more focused on her powers and training kind of thing. I get that. So that can change, that stress can really change a person. So I get that. That's kind of like a another headcanon that I have for the season is that Murray was the officiant, the priest at Joyce and Hopper's wedding. It makes sense. I mean, it would be hilarious. We need like something to come out like where like we need okay, I need some animators to get on this, animate Joyce and Hopper's wedding, and make Murray be the like priest, and yeah, that would be beautiful. So yeah, I think that would be really funny. Also, just so much other stuff was going on this season, and so many good plot points died. I also, what was going on? I didn't think Vecna could like make you see things and do illusions. I guess he could, but then wouldn't it be nice if they mentioned that earlier? Because I thought it was Collie making Hopper see that he shot Elle. That's what I thought. And also, why make Collie so weird and like distant, and like, if you weren't gonna make her evil? I was like, she's evil. she's gonna be evil. And then she's just like, no, sister, we must go and stay over there. Oh, wait, I got shot. And then how did she stay alive long enough to, like, do the last illusion thing? Or, like, possibly because we don't know. But, like, yeah, yeah. Wow. So, yeah. What was everyone else's opinion on the Stranger Things finale? I feel like they could have done a lot better. But I enjoyed it as much as I could. Like, I was, like, tried to push most of what I could aside and be like, okay, but still. And did anybody else cry? I did. I cried multiple times. I cried at the ending when they were all putting their books, D&D books on the shelf. I was like, and then when Holly, Derek, Josh, and the other girl, I don't know her name, I'm sorry, I forgot, came down and, like, started playing D&D and, like, you know, closed the door, and then the ending played with the credits, I was, like, sobbing with, Charles the alien, Charlie. We were both just like, and she was just like, what? But yeah, it was very, very interesting. Who is excited for the Tales from 85? I am. I'm gonna watch it. Literally though, apparently in the trailer, there was a kid who sounded really similar to Dustin Henderson. Apparently that's the voice actor for Lucas. Bro, you sound like Dustin! But still, I really hope that they do a good job. And the guy who's Mike, his voice sounds a little bit off, but I don't expect it to be the same. But still, the guy for Mike is like spot on almost. So I really think that these young voice actors, they're probably around like maybe, I don't know, but I feel like they have a shot at making it big, and this is going to be like their first little thing. So I'm really happy for them, and congratulations to whoever's going to be a part of that, or is just, you know, even though no one is going to watch this, I know that for a fact, but I'm posting it just to post, because why not? Yeah, so congrats to that. And also another time when I cried during Stranger Things, I know this was like really in like the finale, I don't think it was, when Dustin and Steve fought. I was like, no. But I'm very glad that they like made up and, you know, hugged and whatever. That was like, yes. Those two are my favorite characters, and so is, I love Max, Robin, Dustin, and Steve. Not in that order. I love them all. Dustin, I relate to Dustin the most. So he's always been like my favorite basically. Yeah. So, yeah. And I remember seeing somebody made like a song. People were making songs and poems saying, if you kill off this character, we're gonna riot. So yeah, everyone was very in depth with this. And the whole thing with Conformity Gate, I had a feeling like, okay, I had a feeling it wasn't gonna come true and be real, but I was like, okay, but if it does, if this is actually a thing, the Duffers will forever be very smart, in my opinion. But no, it wasn't real. But seriously, all the signs, though, did seem very clear, and I was like, okay, maybe they're onto something, but I'm not gonna believe in it until there's actual more confirmation. And then I remember it was a school night, and, you know, I was like, but I didn't have to go to bed for a while, you know. And I remember getting a shower and coming back, and it was like 8, because I got an early shower, and I was like, Mother, is anything new on Netflix for the Stranger Things thing? Because she knew about it, and she was like, oh, okay, so that really was the finale we got, okay. We even refreshed it once or twice just to make sure that we're not crazy. Yeah, I pretty bummed, but at the same time, I mean, it's over, and we can keep our little headcanons in our heads and hope. And I know that they're, in like the future, they're gonna come back with a spin-off series, but with none of the characters that we know and love. So I'm glad it'll be back, and I'm guessing it's gonna be about the whole rock thing. But I'm gonna miss the original cast, but they all did an amazing job, and I'm really excited to see what else is in store for them. And I'm very surprised by all the commitment that they had to this, because I mean, most of the cast, they've been on this show since they were still teenagers, and you know, for the adults, since they were younger, and now they're like, no offense, they're getting older. I've gotten older too. So yeah, I'm very, very glad and thankful for the cast of Stranger Things that we had, and for, you know, everything. and Stranger Things was a very huge part of my life. And right once it ended, I was like, a big part of my life is over. Or it's just starting. Yeah, I had to be dramatic with that. I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's over. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this listening to this very strange, interesting podcast. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody here, and thank you guys so much for 320 subs. I'm very thankful for that. Or 330, it's one or the other, I forgot. 340 maybe? I need to go check. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I will be eventually getting some more videos coming y'all's way. I've been very busy with schoolwork and just haven't had a lot of time to post. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And that's Ezra of Nowhere out. Pretend that was really dramatic or something, I don't know.